Let's just imagine something for a second. You're in your kitchen, it's been a long day, and you are really trying to cook a good, healthy meal. You've got all the right stuff, fresh veggies, some lean protein, everything looks colorful and nourishing. So you grab that bottle of vegetable oil. You know the one? It's light, it's clear, and you pour some in the pan to sauté everything, feeling pretty good about your choice. But then, maybe a little later that evening, or maybe even the next day, you just don't feel quite right. You know that feeling? That familiar, uncomfortable bloating that just seems to show up out of nowhere? Or that weird brain fog that rolls in right after you eat? Maybe you just look in the mirror and think, why is this stubborn weight still here? I'm eating clean. I'm doing all the right things. So what in the world is going on? It is such a frustrating place to be, and honestly, it's a feeling that so many of us can relate to.
But what if the problem, the one hidden thing that's messing up your health equation, is hiding in plain sight? What if it's sitting right there in that bottle you use every single day, the one that might even say heart healthy on the label? It's a really important question to ask, so let's dig into that because it turns out a whole lot of people are starting to question these oils. We're going to take a look at what the science is starting to show us about some of the most common and maybe the most misunderstood cooking oils that have totally taken over our kitchens and our food supply in the last 50 or 60 years.
Now look, the point of this is not to scare you. It's not about making you feel like you have to throw everything out of your pantry right now. Not at all. This is all about awareness. It's about feeling empowered to make better choices. So think of this as a little investigation. You and me, we're going on it together. We're going to peel back the shiny marketing label, look past the pictures of sunny fields on the bottle, and really understand what's inside. And even more importantly, how that stuff inside might be affecting your body's chemistry. So let's get started on this little journey.
Okay, so our investigation starts in a place we all know very, very well, the kitchen cabinet. And our number one suspect is that bottle we all recognize, that bottle of what we just call vegetable oil. It's just a staple, isn't it? It feels so normal. Many of us grew up with it. Our parents probably used it, maybe even our grandparents. You see it everywhere, in restaurants, in pretty much all baked goods, in almost every salad dressing. It just seems so harmless, so everyday. But what is it really? What are we actually putting in our bodies when we use it?
And when you look at what these oils are made from, the names sound so familiar and, well, natural, right? Sunflower, soybean, corn, canola. They sound wholesome, like they came straight from a beautiful farm. These are the specific oils we're really talking about today, and they are often all lumped together under the name seed oils. But here's the first big clue in our investigation. They are not just in those clear plastic bottles for cooking. No way. They are pretty much the default fat used in almost every single packaged and processed food you can think of. From crackers and cookies to so-called healthy granola bars and even frozen dinners. Their presence in our modern diet is absolutely everywhere.
So here's the really crucial question. How do you get from a natural-sounding plant, like a sunflower or a corn stalk, to that perfectly clear, perfectly uniform, totally odorless liquid sitting in that plastic bottle? Well, that journey, it is nothing like what most of us imagine. It's not like someone is just gently pressing olives to get olive oil. No, this is a highly industrial process, and you have to understand this process to really understand the final product you're buying.
This really lays out that industrial reality. So first, to get the most oil possible out of these tiny, very delicate seeds, they are often blasted with extremely high heat and intense pressure. This can actually damage the fragile fats right from the very beginning. But that's not all. To get every single last drop of oil out, the leftover seed mash is then washed with chemical solvents like hexane. And hexane, believe it or not, is a component of gasoline. It's used to dissolve out the rest of the oil. Now what you have at this point is a dark, smelly, gummy crude oil. It is not something you would ever want to eat. So it has to be cleaned up. It gets bleached with industrial clays to strip out the color, and then it goes through another super high heat process to deodorize it to get rid of any smells. By the time it's done, the oil has been through this intense, multi-step refining process that has almost nothing to do with nature. So now that we have a much clearer idea of how these oils are actually made, let's shift our focus. Let's look at what might be happening when we actually eat them. The conversation is now moving away from the factory and into our own bodies, our own biology. And the central problem seems to revolve around something that science suggests is like a master switch for inflammation inside all of us.
To get this, we need to quickly talk about two kinds of essential fats. Fats our bodies can't make, so we have to get them from our food. They're called omega-6 and omega-3. Just think of them as two different signals that tell your body what to do. Omega-6 fats, they're generally pro-inflammatory. Now, that doesn't sound good, but pro-inflammatory isn't always a bad thing. It's your body's emergency alarm system. If you get a cut, your body uses these omega-6 pathways to create swelling and call your immune cells to come fight off any infection and start healing. It's a critical short-term response. Omega-3s, on the other hand, they're anti-inflammatory. They send the signal to your body to calm down, to resolve the inflammation and get back to normal. So you see, the key isn't that one is good and one is bad. Not at all. The key is that for your body to be truly healthy, they have to be in a delicate balance.
And this is so incredibly important because it shows you exactly what has happened to that delicate balance. For almost all of human history, our diets gave us a ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 that was pretty close to 1-to-1, a nice, even balance. But because these industrial seed oils are packed, and I mean packed with omega-6, and because they're now in almost all of our processed foods, the modern diet has thrown this ratio completely out of whack. It's now estimated to be as high as 20-to-1, or even higher, in favor of the pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats. Just imagine your body's alarm system getting 20 go signals for every one single stop signal. That's the kind of internal environment this crazy imbalance creates.
And this is what happens when that go signal is always on. It's what's called low-grade systemic inflammation. This isn't the kind of inflammation you see when you sprain your ankle. It's not red or hot or painful. No, this is a quiet, chronic, body-wide state of emergency. A good way to think of it is like a smoke alarm in your house that isn't blaring loudly, but it's just constantly beeping, quietly, in the background, all day, every day. You might even get used to the sound. You might not even notice it after a while, but that constant signal means something is not right. And more researchers are connecting this exact, quiet, internal state of inflammation to so many of the chronic health issues we're facing in the modern world. We've covered a lot of ground so far, but the most important part is coming right now. If you leave without hearing this, watching this explainer was not worth it. Stay with me. What comes next can completely change the way you think about your health.
Okay, so let's see how this low-grade inflammation actually shows up in our real lives. How does it make us feel? This is where we connect the dots from the science stuff to the very real symptoms that so many of us are dealing with every day, especially when we talk about the health of our gut and our constant struggles with our weight.
Just take a look at this list for a moment. Does any of this sound familiar? That persistent bloating, that uncomfortable, puffy feeling long after you finished a meal. Or unpredictable digestion, where you never really know how your stomach is going to react to food. What about that classic brain fog after eating, where you just feel slow and sluggish and you can't think straight? Maybe it's skin flare-ups, things like acne or eczema that just won't go away. And of course, that frustrating, stubborn weight that just seems to cling to you no matter what you do. These are not just random problems. Many people are finding that these are often the body's way of signaling that its internal environment, especially the delicate world inside our gut, is out of balance and chronically inflamed. Now let's talk about weight for a minute, because this is so much deeper than just willpower or counting calories. This internal inflammation can directly mess with your hormones. And your hormones, they're basically the chemical messengers that run the whole show. They tell your cells what to do. One of the most important hormones for weight regulation is called leptin. Leptin is made by your fat cells, and its job is to go up to your brain and deliver a very simple message. It says, hey, we're full down here, we've got plenty of energy stored, you can stop eating now. But chronic inflammation can cause something called leptin resistance. This means the message is still being sent, but the brain isn't hearing it properly. The signal is getting scrambled. So your brain doesn't get that "we're full" message, and it keeps thinking you're starving, which, of course, can keep you feeling hungry even when you've eaten more than enough. And this quote, it just sums it up perfectly. That old, very simple idea of just calories in, calories out, it's just not the whole picture. It doesn't take into account the complex biology that's really going on. Our body's ability to stay at a healthy weight is this beautiful, intricate dance of hormones, gut health, and inflammatory signals. And when that dance gets disrupted by a constant flood of these pro-inflammatory fats, the whole system can get thrown completely out of rhythm. All right, so we have spent some time really looking into the problem. We get how these oils are made and the kind of biochemical chaos they might create in the body. So now, let's get to the most important part. What do we do about it? The solution. And the really good news here is that this is not about some crazy, restrictive diet. It's not about feeling deprived. It's just about making a few simple but really powerful swaps. It's about learning to choose your fats wisely.
This slide just makes the whole strategy so clear and simple.
On one side, we have the fats we want to try and consciously reduce. These are those highly processed omega-6 heavy seed oils, so soybean, canola, corn, and sunflower oil. And a huge part of this is just reducing how many packaged and restaurant foods we eat, because that's where most of them are hiding. Then on the other side, we have the fats to embrace. For cooking, we can turn back to more stable, traditional fats. Fats that our ancestors have been using for thousands of years. We're talking about extra virgin olive oil, which is full of protective antioxidants, coconut oil, real butter or ghee, and avocado oil. These fats are much more stable when you cook with them, and they don't have that heavy omega-6 load. And to really help fix that ratio, we need to actively try to get more omega-3s from foods like fatty fish. Salmon is a fantastic choice.
Now, we have to talk about the big myth that has been around these oils for decades, and that's the idea that they are the best choice for your heart health. This whole idea came from research way back in the middle of the last century that suggested if we replace saturated fats like butter with these polyunsaturated vegetable oils, it would be better for our hearts. But here's something really fascinating, and this is something most people never find out. In the last few years, researchers have actually gone back and reanalyzed some of those original studies. And some of these new examinations have found that the original conclusions, well, they may have been incomplete. The science is always evolving, and it's starting to show us that the solid ground that myth was built on, it's not quite so solid anymore.
Let's make all this real with a quick story. Let's talk about Mira. She's 34, and for years, she honestly felt like she was doing everything right. She exercised, she ate big salads for lunch full of vegetables. She stayed away from fried foods, and she would choose whole grain crackers as a snack. She always bought what she thought were the healthy salad dressings. But even with all that effort, she was constantly dealing with this frustrating, uncomfortable bloating after most of her meals. And she was carrying around 10 or 15 pounds of weight that just would not go away, no matter how little she ate or how much cardio she did. She just felt so stuck and confused, and she was blaming herself, thinking she didn't have enough willpower. Her big turning point, it didn't come from some new fad diet or a crazy workout plan. It was just a simple but really profound shift in her awareness. She came across this information about seed oils, and just out of curiosity, she started reading the labels of the healthy foods she had in her kitchen. And she was absolutely shocked. Soybean oil was in her salad dressing. Sunflower oil was in her whole grain crackers. Canola oil was in her healthy mayonnaise. It was in everything. So she decided to try a little experiment. She made two simple changes. First, she swapped out all the cooking oils in her house for extra virgin olive oil and ghee. And second, she made a commitment to just cook a few more meals from scratch each week so she could avoid all those hidden oils in packaged foods. The results? They weren't overnight, but within a couple of months, she noticed a huge change. Her daily bloating, it was gone. Her energy was more stable throughout the day, and without even changing how much food she was eating, that stubborn weight finally started to come off. It all came from that one simple shift in awareness.
And that brings us to your action plan, and it's beautifully simple. It really just boils down to two of the most powerful habits you can build for your health. First, become a label investigator. Just get curious. Don't just believe the marketing on the front of the box. Turn it over, look at that little ingredients list, and just see for yourself where these oils are hiding. Just having this awareness, that alone is a massive first step. And second, whenever you can, choose to cook at home. This isn't about needing to be a fancy chef. It's just about being in control. Cooking your own food is the single most effective way to control the quality of the ingredients you put into your body, especially the kinds of fats and oils you're using.
Your health is not a destination you arrive at one day. It is a direction you choose every single day. Small awareness, small choices, small habits, they quietly add up to something much bigger than you realize right now. Before you go, if this gave you even one useful thought about your health, share it with one person who needs to hear this right now. That one share can bring this awareness to someone silently struggling, and it helps Wellness Geeks reach more people who truly need this. Think of Wellness Geeks as a knowledgeable friend. Like this video? Subscribe to Wellness Geeks and tell us in the comments what health topic you want next. If this video brought real value to your health journey, support it with a super thanks. Every bit of support gives Wellness Geeks the strength to keep going. Thank you so much for watching and caring about your health.